Meanwhile, Wall Street hoping for resolution on a NAFTA front as the U.S. and Canadian negotiators are racing against the clock. The good news is everyone is making nice and sounding optimistic. The bad news is that no deal going into the weekend will certainly sting the markets. Here now with the potential economic and political ramifications, former Utah Congressman, now Fox News contributor Jason Chaffetz. Michelle McKinnon is with us as well, senior wealth advisor for Payne Capital Management, and Chris Wilson, a GOP pollster. Jason, let me start with you. President Trump in the great state of Indiana tonight.
Yes.
He's made a lot of runs in these core, formerly flyover states.
Yeah.
It's part of the reasoning there because he understands that as these tariff battles ratchet up and the reciprocal, the retaliation from these other countries, particularly China, aiming straight at his voters, that he needs to shore them up.
Yeah, we got the pending midterm elections. And remember, Donald Trump became President Trump because he was able to take those centrist voters, a lot of blue-collar Democrats, and convert them over to the Republican Party. Now, Indiana has been a stronghold for Republicans for a long time, Mike Pence coming from there and whatnot. But this is the heart of the Trump voter, and he needs to talk to them directly. And I just think he flat out likes doing it.
Well, there's no doubt he likes doing it, right? Yeah. He's in his element. He thrives very well there. But he's got to do it really now because the media has, you know, I was away yesterday. I went down to give a speech in Georgia, and the guy who drove me, he's like, Trump is messing up the country with all these tariffs. And I said, well, can you elaborate? Of course, he couldn't. He just has heard that it's a negative thing, and now the media has made sure that the country believes this is an overall negative. We know Indiana is a manufacturing state. I've watched these RV stocks taken on the chin in part to higher steel costs. So there's an economic, there's some economic damage that's going on right now to these core voters. How does President Trump articulate to them, hey, give me a little time, let me work this out, because in the long run, we're going to enjoy much better benefits?
From what I read, the Chinese have done an actual pretty good job at targeting some core constituencies of the Trump-Pence ticket, and I think that's causing trouble. You also have members of Congress that are right on the cusp. Remember, the first votes don't happen in November. They happen the 1st of October. And so these people are in a panic. You got 435 members in the House, plus the Senate races, and they're all chomping at the president saying, you've got to get this done. But the NAFTA deal, I think, goes a long way to alleviating any concerns there. I think the president's going to come out a winner on this one.
Are you surprised at how quickly the Mexico deal happened and how conciliatory Nieto was? I mean, that conference call, he was praising President Trump for even starting all of this. I thought that was an amazing 180, if you will, from a very contentious relationship, at least one that we thought was contentious.
Well, it was contentious because the president made it contentious, and he does that as a formula to negotiate. He had a strong hand. He's willing to walk away from the table. He has the most important market in the United States of America. He's holding all the cards, but he had a willing person that was coming to the table, and it did happen quickly, but I think there was a lot happening behind the scenes very quietly, but it's a win for Mexico. It's a win for the United States, and hopefully Canada will make the right decision.
Taking personalities out of it, because Trudeau, we know, sort of has pushed back against President Trump and feels like it's become extraordinarily personal. Yeah. I like that he's not directly involved in this at the moment. Could that be mended also along the way? And if so, would that actually help?
It's like what Al Davis said when he was with the Oakland Raiders. Just win, baby. As long as you win and you're putting a W on the board. Just put a W on the board and everybody will forget all the other stuff. There's a young prime minister in Trudeau. You've got a seasoned person in Donald Trump. I think the age difference, I think Donald Trump isn't really necessarily like that. I think that's a factor. But it's also the United States of America. But I think they're ultimately going to come to the table, and I think North America will ultimately win. All
right, let's bring in the rest of the panel. I want to ask you, Chris, as a GOP pollster, have you seen the sort of impact? Because, again, if you just pay attention to the media, you know, they've all said that this is terrible, the way President Trump has gone about it. Of course, these same periodicals had so many negative articles about the NAFTA deal, so many negative articles in the past, when President Obama was in office, how China was ripping us off. But now every single one of them saying President Trump shouldn't be doing it, at least not this way.
Well, you're right, every single one. I think if someone needs to remind the mainstream media that when Democrats put out talking points, those are optional. They don't have to have this Pavlovian effect that they all sort of herd around it and make it their story of the day. And it's pretty clear right now that what Donald Trump has done in terms of going up and potentially going in and blowing up these trade deals is far more effective than our traditional manner of, well, in the past negotiating, or even the last administration was kind of like, well, let's just be really nice and hope they treat us well. And I will say, from a polling standpoint, to the point to what Jason was making, is I do agree that China was strategic in the way that they tried to go in and target specific voters in some of these states that had core Trump constituencies. But what I have seen is Donald Trump has a unique ability, something I've never seen in my career. Certainly Obama didn't have it. I didn't see it under George W. Bush or Bill Clinton, that when he goes into a state, be it Montana, be it North Dakota, be it Missouri, and now Indiana, probably in West Virginia, although I haven't seen numbers out of there yet, he can go into a state and change the face of the electorate. He can motivate those blue-collar, sort of below-college educated voters that traditionally had voted Democrat, had elected Democrats like Heidi Heitkamp, Joe Manchin, John Tester, Claire McCaskill to the Senate, and switch them over and give them permission and motivate them to turn out and vote for Republicans.
You know, Michelle, we were told this was a doomsday scenario when it was announced. There's no way, if you go back to March 1st, when the Trump administration announced that they were going to go after China and steel and aluminum, that almost any talking head on TV and the financial news would have said the market would be up now, not down. In fact, a lot of people thought the market was going to crash. Instead, not only has the market not crashed, but we learned yesterday the second quarter revised GDP 4.2%. We're trending even higher than that right now. Why? Why has that happened? How come these tariffs haven't derailed this economy?
Well, number one, we're dealing with extremely strong fundamentals. And so the headlines are the headlines. And let's talk about the consumer, right? I don't think we're paying enough attention to the consumer. We saw extremely great numbers with record high consumer confidence over 18 years. And I think that is really what's driving consumers to spend, what's then driving the market forward. And so all these headlines, I think, are just headlines.
You know what I love, guys, is that, you know, the term the economy is on the move. It's on the move. What I mean by that, we are physically moving. Think about this for a moment. The traffic, right? It's not just that consumers are spending. We're going to malls. We are getting up off the sofa. We're going to malls. We're averaging almost 200% increase in the amount of people coming to the labor force than the 8 years prior to when Trump was in office. In July, there were 53,000 trucks. Those big rigs were ordered. We are on the move, Jason. That says something to me that no polls can speak to.
I think when we look back on this, historians and economists will go and look and say that regulatory state that Barack Obama was advocating put a huge hamper and a damper on the economy and the ability of capital to move forward because there was so much uncertainty on what new regulation was going to happen. And then that regulation got pulled back and investors started having confidence and they started making these investments. Couple that with the tax reform and you had a winning formula.